Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're continuing our DM-based deck profiles with the version 2 deck profile, leaning into the kind of on-deletion sub-theme going on in version 2 with some really powerful on-deletion effects, and we're going to be using BT3 Mastemon as our boss monster for some classic tomfoolery. So, without any further delay, 4 copies of Tsunomon is going to be our egg of choice because we're sticking in the version 2 trait. When face-down cards are placed in this Digimon's sources, this Digimon may Digivolve into a version 2 trait card in the hand with the cost reduced by 1. Just a great way for us to get some reduced cost evos as we go up the line into version 2 trait Digimon. For our rookies, we're on 4 copies of EX9 Gabumon. This is our searcher on play reveal top 3. Add a DM trait card to hand and place a version 2 trait card face down as the bottom source of this Digimon's or a Digimon with the DM trait. And then we get a jamming inheritable for our trouble. It's going to give us some safe checks to make sure that we can actually get in for some damage. We're going to run 2 copies of the Gazimon. This is also an on-play searcher. We won't have many version 5 targets to actually add to our hand because obviously Gazimon is our only version 5 base card in this deck. But we do get the retail inheritable, which I do care about, and this is a purple body that we can play back, which it does come up sometimes. And then we have 4 copies of the EX9 Elecmon. Has training, so in the breeding area we can stack some sources underneath this. And then the inheritable says all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3 KDP. This is actually a really nice inheritable because we have the ability to float back some bodies. And if this is in our stack while we're floating back bodies, it just kind of makes everything on your board safer for its checks because it's going to just blanket give your opponent security minus 3K. For our level 4s, we're on 2 copies of EX9 Kabuterimon. On play and when digivolving by placing a card in your hand face down as this Digimon's bottom source, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and it cannot unsuspend in their next unsuspend phase. This is a great control tool to allow you the opportunity to swing over things or to curb your opponent's aggro. When attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Also great to force things to become suspended, and then with that Gazimon retail inheritable, we might be able to force some favorable trades. We are going to run 4 copies of the EX9 version 5 Devidramon. I guess I said Gazimon was our only version 5. I lied. We do need a purple level 4 body for some of our float effects on Mastemon specifically because it cares about purple and yellow level 4s. So this Digimon has when digivolving and when attacking by placing a card in your hand face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, you draw a card. So drawing a card is great. The inheritable says on deletion, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. This is another nasty on deletion effect that we can pack to trim down the opponent's board while we're making some progress in our own game plan. We are also going to run 4 copies of the EX9 Angemon from version 2. This card is cracked. It's fantastic with what we're trying to do here on play and when digivolving by placing a Digimon card in your hand face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. You have one of your opponent's Digimon security attack -1 and -3 KDP until their turn ends. This with our Kabuterimon are both great tools for stopping the opponent's aggro, handing out security -1, suspending things so they don't unsuspend. -3K is also a great way to pop some Bloodgates on the board. More importantly, though, for part of our game plan, on deletion, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to recover 1. We're going to have a really nasty boss monster that complements Mastemon that this on deletion is going to pair really, really nicely with, and we'll talk about it when we get there. Moving on to our level 5s, we're on 4 copies of the EX9 SkullGreymon. On play, when digivolving for each of this Digimon's face-down sources, trash the top card of your deck. Then you may return 1 DM trait Digimon card from your trash to the hand. On deletion, you may play a level 4 or lower DM trait Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost, and the inheritable does the same thing. So what we really like this card for is, first of all, our ability to grab back pieces. That's going to be critical for grabbing back the Angemons. We do want to be able to recycle these and put them back in our stack, especially if we are trying to rebuild on the Kimeramon DNA play. We just want to make sure that we have this available to us, whether we're digivolving into it or if we're going to try and play it back by sources. We have the option to keep it in the trash or to grab it back to hand. Secondly, that on deletion to play back a level 4 body. If you can't guess by the Kimeramon over there, we're going to use this card's effect along with the Mastemon's effect to play back a level 4 in order to DNA into Kimeramon and keep a lot of tempo. So both parts of this card are fantastic for our purposes. We're going to run 2 copies of Megadramon from EX9. On play when digivolving by placing a Digimon card from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom source. Delete 2 of your opponent's play cost 4 or lower Digimon. For each of this Digimon's face down sources, add 1 to the play cost maximum. That's a nice little effect to trim down the opponent's board. What I care about much more than that is this end of attack by unsuspending this Digimon. Delete 1 of your Digimon with the lowest level. Now, what we're going to use this for is the fact that if this is our only Digimon on the board, we can delete our own stack, and we're going to use that to get off some of these one deletion effects in order to get a lot of tempo and recover some security. We are also going to run the 3 copies of Kimeramon because this is so central to our game plan with keeping tempo and DNAing back up into another stack. I made sure we were running 3 copies so that we do see it often enough to actually execute on that game plan. So you can DNA this on any 2 level 4 Digimon, and when Digivolving, you place a level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under this Digimon as its bottom source. Then up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1k for each of the colors, and this Digimon is treated as having all of the colors in its sources and can have plus 4k DP if you have 4 colors. So something really nice about this is you can actually tuck your SkullGreymon back underneath this Kimeramon, and then if we Digivolve into the Mastemon, we have the ability to potentially float back those 2 level 4s and get into another Kimeramon for some crazy tempo. On to our level 6s. The Mastemon we've been talking about from BT3, when Digivolving, trash 1 card from the top of both players' security stacks, then play 1 purple or yellow Digimon card with a level 4 or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. So we are trying to trade 1 security and 1 security, and then play back either the Angemon or the Devidramon. Now, that doesn't sound fantastic on paper, but we're going to pair it with this Shroudmon as well. So think about it this way. We're playing this card, we're getting a free level 4, and then we're using, hopefully, some kind of shenanigans to delete this, either the Calling from the Darkness, the Pandemonium Flame, and then hopefully resolving the SkullGreymon Inheritable to float back a level 4. Now we have 2 level 4s. We DNA into the Kimeramon, and we can Digivolve into our partner Shroudmon here. When Digivolving and end of attack, if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets a minus 7k for the turn. If you have 3 or fewer, delete one of their unsuspended Digimon. Pretty good if you have 3 or more, also pretty good if you have 3 or fewer. Best if you have 3 just total. This Mastemon does trash our own security, so that helps us get to that desired 3 security. And then all turns, if this card would leave the battle area by an opponent's effect, if you have 3 or more security cards, by trashing the top card of your security stack, you get to prevent it from leaving. Even better than that, though, on deletion, recover 1 until there's 3 cards in your security stack. So you can use this on deletion, recover up to 3, and then use the Angemon on deletion Inheritable to actually recover that 4th security. So something really nice here is we have kind of this mini game plan where we can be using the Mastemon to force the opponent's security down, pop this somehow, some way. We float back our bodies, we DNA, and then on the DNA we can tuck this Megadramon to get this end of attack trigger that allows us to delete our own stack, and then Digivolve into the Shroudmon, and then we're basically set up to swing the Shroudmon, get our damage in, and then delete it so that we can recover a bunch of security. So we are hopefully trashing down the opponent's security and recovering our security, keeping ourselves nice and healthy at the same time. Pretty fun. For our options, the aforementioned 1 copy of Calling from the Darkness. You pop one of your Digimon to return 2 purple Digimon cards from trash hand. It's going to be important for grabbing back our top end pieces. 2 Pandemonium Flames. I think this is the best way for us to trade in our level 6 stacks and remove threats that the opponent has that we might not be able to deal with. So this is just a good way for us to get rid of the level 6s that they have and get rid of these 2. We have 4 copies of Meat. We're going to draw 1, place this in the battle area, and then on delay, place a card from our hand face down as any of our DM trait Digimon sources, and then it gets a Digivolve into a DM trait Digimon card in the hand with the cost reduced by 2. It's going to help us climb pretty quick. For our Tamers, 3 copies of Analog Youth. We need to fill the trash with pieces. This is a great way to do that. It also searches for our top end cards, so no complaints there. And then because we are popping our level 6 stacks intentionally, this suspending it to gain a memory and hatchet Digimon egg card is going to be really, really effective. We're just going to get tons of value off of doing this, and we're going to be pumping out bodies. We do have 2 copies of the new EX9 Analog Youth. At the start of your main phase, you may place a card from your hand face down as any of your DM tree Digimon's bottom source, and then your turn, when a face down card is placed as the bottom source of any of your Digimon, by suspending this Tamer, you gain a memory. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw 1, and then you get Reboot on your opponent's turn for any Digimon, not just DM. So we get Reboot on all of our level 6s, we gain memory off of this, and we get to draw cards. It just kind of does everything that we need to do. And then rounding it out, 2 copies of BT8 Kari Kamiya as our memory setter of choice. If we have 2 or less memory, we set our memory to 3. And when a card is added to our security stack, you get to suspend the Tamer to gain a memory. Between the Shroudmon and the Angemon, this is kind of just guaranteeing us 4 memory. As long as we are playing to the game plan, we're going to have plenty of memory to work with. And then this will usually be triggering on deletion anyways, which means that you get rewarded for doing your game plan. And then in conjunction with tapping the Analog Youth, we're just going to get so much memory back when we delete one of our bodies to do things. So that's what I've got for version 2 in EX9. A little bit of a funky Mastemon self-deletion recursion deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you doing with version 2? Are you just playing Gabumon, or have you put something else on top of this engine that you would love to share with me? I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.